Masachet Zevahim Daf Kuf Bet Amud Aleph, first wide line. Mitzvah, sorry, Ketanai. The concept of whether or not Moshe Rabbeinu was considered a Kohen is B'machloket Tanaim. B'yihar Af Hashem b'Moshe, Hashem got angry against Moshe. Rabbi Yeshua ben Korchamer Kol Harun Ashbtar never mentions anger, burning anger in the Torah. Ne'amar Bo Roshem, it's some type of mark is mentioned with it, meaning it's some type of something's accompanied by it. V'zilon Amar B'Roshem, but here Moshe Rabbeinu just said he was angry. He didn't say what happened with the anger. There was a mark. He said, your brother, the Adam, the Levi. Why is he referring to the Levi? The Kohen who wasn't Adam a Kohen? Therefore, Hashem saying as follows: I already told you that you were going to be the Kohen and he was going to be Levi. Now you're going to be opposite. That was the punishment. That was the mark. Okay. You want it says. Moshe was only Kohen for the first 7 days of inauguration, just to teach Aaron what to do. My Vomer. Sorry, Lo Paskat the Moshe. The Kuna only stopped with Moshe's descendants, but he was a Kohen in entire life. Shneimar. Moshe Isha Elohim Benav Yikar U'al Shevet Levi. Zomer another pasuk says, Moshe Baron Kohanav Ushmuel B'Kur Ishimo. My Vomer, why we need the second pasuk to teach the same thing? The Gemara says, V'chitim Al Durut Hudektiv. Maybe you might think that the first pasuk was referring to future generations of Moshe as well. Therefore, go remember, go to the second pasuk says Moshe Baron Kohanav, capping Moshe with his Kiona by him only, not his sons. Where it says every single time it's burning anger, there's a mark with it. Moshe left Paro with burning anger when Paro got upset with him by Makah Bachro. But Moshe didn't have any mark or say anything. Moshe slapped Paro on the face and left. That was a pretty big mark he left. Moshe say this. Moshe stand by Paro, by the riverbank. Hashem was telling Moshe that Pharaoh was a king. This is before Makat Dam. And therefore treat him respectfully. Yochanan saying, no, God was telling Moshe that Pharaoh is a Rasha, but and act disrespectfully toward him. So, but seemingly Rish Lakish said that you should respect him. Where it says Epoch, switch the opinions. Rish Lakish was the one that hold it you could define. And he said it's not his face. Amar Rabbi Yonai. You should always be have the awe of the king in front of you. Detective, Moshe was referring to the servants of Paro. They all come bow down to me. He didn't say it to Paro himself that Paro bowed down to him because he didn't want to disrespect him. Fasting. When the Hashem came to Eliyahu, he ran in front of Ahab, even though in sign of respect, even though Ahab was in a shop, he still showed him respect by running in front of him. Ma'ulam, Bikesh Moshe Ma'chud. Moshe wanted to become king. Hashem did not want him to become king. Tiv, Atek Reb Halom. Ben Halom Elam Achud, Halom is referring to the kingdom. Shneimar, Mi Anachi Hashem King, Ki Havetana Ad Halom. Matir Rav asked a question, Rabbi Shmuel, Melech. Which one said that Elisheva mentioned that her brother-in-law is king. She was happy for part of that. Seemingly Moshe was king. Remember, it says Marava Lo Uzero Kamar means that the kingdom was for Moshe and his sons. That's what he was requesting, but he only got it for himself, not for his kids. This is Halom well, Halom only refers to generations. Has ever a man come here? Who in? But Moshe Shaul himself was king, but his kids were not. It went straight to David. Where it says, he wanted to kind of he did have a son who was king. Ishbosheth was a kind of a king for 2 years. Or you want to say that Shaul was different. Came because the kingdom did not last with him. He lost everything. It was supposed to go to his kids, but it didn't even last fully for him. Whenever Hashem gives greatness to a person, they give this greatness for him permanently, for him and his generations. Shemar, lo yigara misadik enav ve'et melachim lakizeh. If the person becomes haughty after being given this greatness, God will lower him. What an amazing concept. Whatever we earn in regard to accomplishments or greatness, Hashem will give to us forever. But if we take credit for it, God forbid Hashem could take it away. Okay, interesting. Next part of the Mishnah. Ba'alim Mumin, Ben Ba'alim Mumin, Kohanim who have a permanent or temporary blemish, they can eat. Okay, من أول حين ناس ثاني ربنا calls the high passes or males. Rabot Ba'alim Mumin is refers to people who have a moon. Ulmai, what about a guy with a moon? Ilach has the time that he's allowed to eat it. عليك وأنا passes lechem or lokab mikoshia because shmiyachel you can eat it. How can anything that he gets a share? Just like an unblemished coin. The Gemara says, Tani if it says, Kol Dachar, all males, then Abel Ba'alimi has them, even those of the moon, the Mai was Talacha, Ilach Yaz referring to eating, and Ekvamor, there is a pasuk. Ilach Halakavi is getting a share, and Ekvamor, else is a Shiachom, because you might think that you might have said that maybe you would have thought you would have still need to teach me that because in the other time, Shev and Asab Amum, how do you know that maybe it's referring to the case where the guy initially did not have a mum, then he got one, that's when he gets a share. Ba'almum, I know that he was born with a mum, he still gets a share. Talmud Kozachar. Versus an either the versus Kozachar, all meals that about the Amum take to the moon. The Maya was referring to Ilachia for eating, and Kanam words said that. Ilachaka for a share, and Kanam words said that. Ilachim make it obvious everything it was already born, and Kanam words said that Yachol, but you still need this pasuk to teach you why. And the Allah Ba'amum Kavo, you might think always permanent mum. Ba'amum, I mean, I know that even a temporary mum could still get a share. Talmud pasuk says Kozachar, all meals. Kapayaya. Why would you make that? Why would you make that assumption? Maybe a temporary moment should get it more than a permanent moment. Where I said the marriage is shot, April, yeah, switch it. Rashi, don't switch it. How do you explain it? Basically, something that you would have thought, he tameh. Temporary moments like a guy was tameh. Not tameh, come and look how do I feel. There's like a tameh, he's temporary, he doesn't eat. Avaham is still regarding temporary mum. Come and law, as long as they're healed, he can't eat kamash on there for years, that even if it passes the mum, he can get it. We're not more machmir. Okay. Kosher read the mission in Pasu in Mishnah. Whoever is not eligible for the avodah cannot get a share. Below, we mean not. Barakam ba'amum b'kom etamum. Below avodah he cannot serve, but halek he still gets a share. But two, and also additionally, haraula avodah halek. Someone who's eligible to get the avodah can get a share. Haratameh b'kom tzibur because we see. Problem is that we see that in the case of a kohen tameh regarding a community korban, that avodah he can do the avodah, but no halek doesn't get a share. Where says no. Ra'ula Achila Kamar is referring to eating. Whoever is not eligible to eat does not get a share. But I Barakatan, but a minor, the Ra'ula Achila, he can eat, but he doesn't get a share. Where's the Halakatani? The Mishnah did not mention specifically everybody who's eligible. Where it says Ashta, that's Lach, and he mentioned it as well. The long time you can answer the first answer. Imishum Tameh, referring to the Tameh. Tameh Lokatani, Mishnah did not actually mention Tameh. Imishum Ba'amut regarding Mum. Rahman Rabbi Adatra included him that he also can get a share. Okay. אפילו תמי בשעה שעת הזרקים, זריקת דמים, בטח בשעת היתר חייבים מן החולק, عم يشنس the someone when he's in blood was thrown, then he was tahor when they burnt the fats, doesn't get a share. حتى tahor بشעת زركات الدائمين, but if he sounds like he was tahor when the blood was thrown, but تمي بشעת هيك حيهم, but تمي afterward when the fats are burnt, حولك he doesn't get a share. I think look Bashul sounds like the Irish sounds like against Bashul. At the time it says Bashul there, the law memo shall the Tahor has the coin has to be completely Tahor. You have to be Kash from the time the blood's thrown until the burning of the fast. That Makab says Makriv at Dam Shalim Beta Hilet, the Afilu Hetera Halim and Abai has to be eligible the entire time. But if I said Nitman the time, what if the coin became Tame in between? Ma was Alacha. Bishat the Kash we mentioned specifically is Tahor by both. But Akan he can be, he'll get the horn afterward. Maybe you say that no, it has to be continuously tahor from beginning to end, and even though he wasn't tamer at either end points, but since he's tamer in the beginning, in the middle rather, it'll break it up. Tekel Gemara says we don't know. Okay, Maraba. Ha'idina is halacha med Rabbi Elazar ben Shimon Gemirna we learned from Rabbi Shimon. The Maraba like he said they taught us in the bathroom. We'll explain how they did it later. Danta you can learn as follows. Batzlum Yom Lamara Kohen who was the Yom he did that day had to wait for nighttime. He used the horn. He said to the give me a piece of the minhaf that the Israel brought and I'll eat it. Tonight when I will be tahor, where it says that the Torah coin can say no. In a case, type of korban where you have more power, and you have a stronger claim than I, let's say you bring a korban hatat Israel, I could still, right? So regarding the personal hatat of Kohen, he could still bring a personal korban of hatat. He's like, but still I can push it with Israel hatat, because this is where you don't have much power, the min hatacha, because he can't serve it. So too in the case of mincha, in mincha dechami in hadith so for sure I cannot push away. I'm sure I could push you away from the Israel's mincha, where it says uma in dechaitan hatat Israel. Just because you push me away from the Israel's hatat, sheikh Hashem shivako just like well, you have extra power. Kach yivako achasotu, because what your power. Sorry. My power, I have extra power there, so to give extra power. To him mincha, does not mean that you can push me away from the Israel's mincha. Sheikh Hashem shivako kochis like my power is weakened that I can't, like my mincha, kachurab koachas, so too your power is weakened. In the case of your mincha, where it says, Arei Omer, but the person can answer back. La kohen makribo tahal lo tiyeh. The kohen who shall bring it can belong to it. But like whoever brings it eats it. Since you can't bring it, you can't eat it. The Gemara says, okay, ten li me hatat Yisrael. Let's say the Tavuyim said to Tower Kohen, give me part of the Yisrael's hatat, and I'll eat it. The Gemara says later on, Yani. Milo says that then, in case where my power is weakened, then let's say a case of my korban mincha, which we already said that a mincha brought by a Kohen is not eaten. The Hitecha miminachat Israel, still I could push away from Israel's mincha. Makom shikufak kochi, still in a case where, so in a case where I have extra power, but in the case of my korban mincha, and then should be ahatam with Israel, so for sure I can push away from Israel's hatat. Remember, it says in my law that the Tavuyam Kohen can say, "Ma'ashim techim mitahad Israel," just because you push me away from Israel's mincha. Shekshem b'shvei kochash, like your power is weakened. Kach v'kochik, so my power is weakened. Techim mitahad Israel, does that mean you can push me away from Israel's chatat? Shekshem shuvah kochash, like your power was greater. Kach v'kochik, so my power is also greater. The reason why I can't share in the mincha is because the mincha is weak, regardless. But hatat, I should be able to get it. Where it says that the Har Kohen can say, but we know the pasuk says, the Kohen who's involved can eat it. If you throw the blood, you can eat it, but you can't. The Kutflim can say back, tell me, give me part of the Shlamim, not eat it. In the case where your power is greater, in the case of your chatat, I can still push away from the Israel chatat. In the case of the Shlamim, you only get a partial piece. So for sure I can push you away. Just because you can push me away from Matat, because my power is weakened, that I cannot share with my wives and slaves. Does that mean you can push me away from the Shamim pieces? That I can share with them? The Pasuk says, the Kohen who throws it gets it. If you want it, throw the blood. But since you can't, you can't. It's not Tavuyam, the Tavuyam leaves. All his arguments on his head, he loses all the Kavachomers. The Onen's on his right, and the one who did not bring the Korban for Tumah on his left, meaning these three people are unable to serve in Bet Mikdash. Rach had a question. Why aren't he answering back? These are all, obviously, theoretical conversations. They're saying, how come the Tavuyim can answer the Kohen? Give me part of the Bechor and I'll eat it. And the reason why is because the Har Kohen could say, in the case my power is weakened, in the case of a Hatat where I'm weaker, that I can't share the wives and slaves, that I still can push you away from the Yisrael's Hatat. In the case where I have extra power, but Bechor, in the case of Bechor, they could leave because it completely belongs to me. So for sure I could push you away. And the Tefillim could then say, just because you push me away, we both are weak in there. You can't push me away Bechor. You're enhanced. I'm also enhanced. And the Tahar can answer back. Pasuk says, Pasuk says, whoever throws it gets it. If you want to throw it, get it, but you can't. Therefore, you can't. But Eidach opinion says, no, parich. He can answer back. Miktiv ufseram la kohen yizorek. Doesn't say the meat goes to the kohen who throws it. Ufseram yihelach. This is you. Ktiv. Afilu kohen acher, even to another kohen. Mar says, ve'ech yavirachi. How can the talk about it in the bathroom? Amar babar hana babar nechlan. V'chol makom v'ator le'eres la'arer achutz min rechaz v'et ha'kiseh. You try to think about Torah everywhere except for a bathhouse and bathroom. So how did he do it? Mar says, the on sashani was a mistake, meaning he was so unable to change his thought patterns. He was thinking about the Torah in the bathroom by accident. It wasn't his fault even. Inshallah by us.